Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and install the tail rotor servo bracket. It slips up into the frame pretty good. You'll see the allocation holes for it. It uses self tappers. Later on, I'll leave the tail case off, and I'll get the arm squared up, snapped into place. But as you can see so far, very easy build, very fast build, and I've noticed that with all my line helicopters. Just going through the build, the layout is very methodical, has a purpose, which is really nice. I haven't seen any helicopter on the market that when you assemble it, how well it goes together, how with the manual and everything. So Align Helicopters and Align Corporation have really taken their time to make a manual and stuff, so when you're building, it all lays out really easy. Okay, tail case assembly here. I've installed my cyclic servos as per the manual. Like I've stated before, you can install your elevator servo prior to setting up your frame sets. What I've gone ahead and done is, and also I'll make a note that I have sanded the frames, okay, as stated in the manual, to make sure all the edges are nice and smooth, so there's no chafing, wires, when you flip or anything. The thing I'd like to show you is that back in a 550 frame, this is a very compact, tight helicopter. The rear case here fit in very snug, very tight. Everything lines up perfectly. But as you'll see, I'll have a hard time getting in there to square up my 90-degree tail rotor arm. So that's not a big deal. I'll basically, when I get to the radial point, I'll just drop the 4 bolts. I'll drop this out, set it up on the bench with my receiver next to the helicopter, and then reinstall that. So I can get an eye of everything, how it lays out right now. Very tight, very compact, very nice. Now the next thing they'd like us to do, just so you know also, I did have to just pop this rear plate out at the top. This can be reinstalled. It's kind of slightly spread the frames. Taking the tail rotor out of its package, the new tail rotor design. Align has beefed up significantly the whole tail rotor case, adding thickness to the back plate and across here, also taking out the spacer that they originally had. This tail case actually is used on the 550, 600s, and 700s, just to show you the beefiness of what this works on. So it's a crossover part that works very well. I've looked at this. This is Loctited in very well. The bearing moves very smoothly here. Our 2 brass screws on the dog bones will be installed after, once I check out our new tail rotor hub. This is the V2 version. I'm going to dismantle these and check for checking for grease in our thrust bearings. So let's go ahead and do that. They also do Loctite these in. Once again, you know, they assemble the parts so the parts are not lost. It's not assembled for us to just go and fly. So tail rotor bearings, the thrust bearings will need to be greased. So, and I do like to check the fact that everything's installed correctly. So what I'm seeing here is the race says out. It's perfect. They installed it correctly. The bearing is dry, so we're going to just lube it up with their grease, and I will reinsert this down into the grip. Re-wet the Loctite and insert back on it. They've increased the bearing size on the and shaft size on the new tail rotor hub. It's a much more robust system. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this side of the tail after it's greased, and we'll do the Loctite. Give it a snug. You don't have to go crazy. Really nice fit here. Barely any play in and out, which is nice. So we'll go to the other side. You know, and these improvements on the machines, you know, shows that Align does listen to its customers, that they're looking for better and improved products as the product evolves, and this is just one of the items that they've gone ahead and improved over the last year. Separate the grip, drop out the thrust bearing. Again, they did install it correctly, which is fantastic. Just going to give this a nice greasing, pack grease in there pretty good. This is a maintenance item. Tail rotor grips and main grips are a maintenance item, meaning every 30 to 50 flights you should be taking apart your tail rotor grips and greasing them along with your main blade grips. You may need to do it more often depending on how hard you fly, where you fly, the environment you fly in. Flying in high desert, you know, sandy, gritty environments, you know, you want to make sure that the grease is in there. Over here on the East Coast, you know, I basically get in there at least 30 to 50 flights, because I feel I fly pretty aggressive, and make sure that, you know, everything is great. This is a fantastic feeling, very good, really smooth, minimal play. Like I said, we just snug these up. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. Just want to smooth and constant pressure, and that grip feels fantastic. This here slider is already pre-Loctited from them. Fantastically smooth, easy to operate. I'm going to go ahead and install the ball. We'll get it back on the whole tail rotor system. This is smooth, bearings are in place. I've checked these with the wrench. They're all snug with Loctite. I'm not going to break them free. Okay, what we've done ahead here is gone ahead and greased our thrust bearings, removed the hub from the shaft. And what I've gone ahead and done is reinstalled the hardware. I've Loctited our ball onto our belt crank. I've located the proper ball for our slider. It has a little shorter shaft on it. That's Loctited into place. What we've done here is these brass screws are just kind of just sitting in there loosely. We removed them and the dog bone. And what I do here is I dab the Loctite in from the back side for the threads, because you don't want to put the Loctite on the thread of the brass screw and send it through the plastic dog bone. That may wick a little blue Loctite or whatever type of Loctite you're using on there and cause this to drag or seize. Along with the same thing with the grip. I wick the Loctite with a small tip of an Allen wrench or something, or a Q-tip into the threads here, and then insert with our brass insert along with the black screw right into the grips and snug all that up. So this assembly is now complete and very smooth and very tight. There's very minimal play in this whole setup. Align's done a beautiful job in keeping their tolerances very, very tight. I don't see any need for any upgrades. All of our pilots, the factory guys, our competition guys, run stock machines right out of the box. Hold up very well. You see us at Fun Flies, never an issue. Okay, I've pulled all our boom components out. What I've done is gone ahead and oiled a little bit of the inside of the boom. I'm going to take our bearing. I'm going to just walk it right in. And something I like to do is basically use the tube that they give us to hold everything, and I kind of give it a quick measurement to locate that bearing. I like to put the bearing right about there, kind of a little bit of an offset in the middle of the tail case, which looks really good. What I'm going to go ahead and do is get our tail fin right here. Pop it out of the package real fast. We're going to put the tail case on. Grab that. Okay. Slide our tail case on. It's located. Boom's facing the right direction. There we go. Okay. A little bit of a Loctite. Set this down for a second. Get these on here. These are going to be a little snow going through. So that's snapped into place. We'll locate this through here. And basically what I like to do is kind of build in components, so then you can assemble the machine in 2 or 3 components. So frame set, tail boom set, head set, and then you piece that together. In other directions, have you piece things together a little differently. But you know, taking the machine apart to have to put something back together is a little time consuming. I've gone ahead and checked like I said, all the bolts on the tail rotor case are nice and snug, everything's operating correctly. So I'm going to get this on, I'm going to build this as a unit, snug this up. Okay, there we go. And what I will do, torque tube, it will slide right down in through the bearing. It's not going to fight me, there it goes. Okay. Okay, make sure it is locked. We are locked in. Okay. So we have a completed tail case there. You could save this if you crash. You know how to locate your bearings. It's pretty easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the clamp that we use for the tail rotor rod. Just going to slide it on. Yeah, I'm not going to put any Loctite on this. Plastic and Loctite don't mix. It's a machine thread, so it'll snug up really nice. And all I'm going to do here is just put this through. I'm not going to put any crazy glue yet on the sleeve that they give you. Just remember also with all line links, the A faces out. There is a big and a small, so there's the A. And I'm just going to snap this on. Okay, this needs to get a little twisted to keep it lined up. It's actually straight down the boom. Actually kind of like that setup right there. Make sure I move it a little forward. I'll split it. And also put it right here in that location. I'm just going to leave this loose for now. I'll do that once I set up my final throws, so I know how far everything is. But this actually I think is in a perfect spot. And we'll snug it up. Okay? Everything works very, very well, very smooth, and that's a unit built. So this will be ready when I'm ready. Slide this in, lock it on the tail rotor servo. When I do our electronic setup on my 14MZ, and I'll be showing it on a 8FG, Super 8FG also. Doing this build video to keep things clear. So if you guys ever have any questions, please don't ever hesitate to email myself or anyone on the team if you're not sure about anything. So I'm just going to pop this bolt out. What I like to do here is we're going to grease the auto unit. Okay. Separate these two, very easy little twist. And then at this point I'm going to slide the auto sleeve out. Okay. There actually is some grease in there, which is fantastic to see. I'm going to put some more in here. Alright, I'm going to slide the sleeve and I keep my finger over here to keep kind of let the grease press in. Okay. We'll rotate this a little bit so it actually will drag some of the grease in and pop it back out. And we're actually going to put a little bit more. The grease will load up behind the bearings. I know guys like to use, you know, brake-free, 3-in-1 oil, transmission oil. I don't recommend that. I know Align doesn't recommend it. We use the grease. Grease will keep the bearing lubricated. As the bearing gets hotter, the grease will stay. It won't become as thin and want to run out. If you use any type of oil, the oil will wick out over time. And the bearing that we use in the auto units is a very high quality German one-way bearing. So that's as simple as that. It's being greased. Okay. Everything looks good. We'll give these a quick check. Just to feel. Okay, good. Looks good to hear. Perfect. 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 Alright, perfect. So, we will go ahead and insert, and what I like to do is I'm not going to get the swash plate into the mix just yet. I'm going to get the main shaft, the collar to set the gap. I'm going to get that all in place first. To give you two shims here. Basically you want to adjust your vertical play, limiting that to nothing. Let's keep this stuff out of the way. Our main shaft slides down through both bearings. Very nice, very smooth. There is a step in the main shaft with the Autorotation Unit and stuff. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this nut into the Autorotation gear. So it's one less thing I have to worry about. I'm trying to tighten all this down. Of course, little parts, big fingers, always the problem. There we go. Okay. So now I'll turn the nut away from me. What I'm going to do is basically look at these shim thicknesses. I'm going to start with the medium one. Let's see what happens. Another thing to remember, after you've taken the auto unit apart, make sure you locate the hole and maybe put a small driver through it to make sure it will end up. Locate the hole so you can get the Jesus bolt through it without an issue. Okay, try that again. There we go. Walk it in. Everything looks good. Look at that. Beautiful. Straight down. First shot. Yeah. Turn the shaft ever so easily. Now something to remember here is do not over tighten this bolt. I know some guys have been stating that their auto units are locking up. What I like to do here is just get the bolt going through. Once the nut catches and I draw it in and I feel some pressure, that is it. That bolt is just basically to stop the shaft from coming out. And I have a hair of play. Alright, I'm going to pull that out. Pull this apart real fast. I'll put both shims in. Just to get a feel of how tight this Jesus bolt's going to go in. If you're over shimming it, you'll have a problem, getting your Jesus bolt in and out. that middle a little bit in there. Not a big deal. Of course, I didn't want that. There we go. Let me get the diesel bolt. Alright, so basically I've got the shaft in. I'm using both shims on the main shaft. It's basically set it up. The Jesus bolt went through without any issue. What I'm going to do is just carefully work this. I've got the main shaft in. We've used the 2 shims. Shaft is located. Jesus bolt is in. Don't tighten it a lot. As soon as you feel it stop, you're done. Jesus bolt is only to hold the main gear in. Everything is complete here. So we're going to keep moving on with our assembly process. The book looks like us. It wants us to work on some. We'll get the swash plate on. Of course, I'm not going to have any links on or anything like that. I'll get the head on. I'll get the anti-rotation guide in, our canopy grommets, our stand-ups for our canopies, and then we will start working on it from that.